Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump's 0% inflation promise. So Trump had an interview talking about economics, and there's tons of articles talking about his proposed economic policies. But this gives us a chance to talk about one of Trump's economic promises. Inflation will vanish completely. That's a quote that's been widely reported on. Inflation will vanish completely. I haven't seen any reporting that adds the context that needs to be here. First, people around the country believed him, which is funny if you've read the fact checks of his economic ideas. But this other thing happened. People thought it was a good idea. 0% inflation is bad, actually. A country with no inflation is set up for what's known as a deflationary spiral. See, what happens is prices drop. Consumers think they'll drop further, so they hold off on spending. But companies already cut prices. Since consumers are holding off on spending, the companies don't have money. What gets cut next? Your job. Then people have anxiety about layoffs, so they spend less, which leads to more layoffs. The cycle continues, creating a deflationary spiral. Periods with deflationary spirals often get names, like the Great Recession or the Great Depression. Now at this point, those supportive of Trump are going to try to reinterpret his promise. I can already picture it down there in the comments. Something like, he didn't really mean that inflation would completely vanish. He meant it would go back to normal. From 1960 to 2023, the average inflation rate was 3.8%. Do you know what it is right now? 2.4%. Ideal inflation is 2%. And you'll have economists argue about whether 2% really is the best number. And there's an argument there. But if you're going to reimagine what Trump said, it doesn't matter. If Trump just meant get back to normal inflation, we're already there. I'm sure people will wonder why it's at 2% instead of a lower number. The simple reason is that central banks have a lot of tools to deal with inflation and bring it back down, as they just did. There aren't a lot of tools to deal with deflation, which can cause depressions, so they err on the side of caution. This is what Trump does. He makes statements like this and they sound good, but only if you don't know the subject matter very well. The statement should have made everybody in the country realize he doesn't actually know about economics. He's campaigning on a promise to hurt the economy. And to be clear, even if by some miracle we don't hit a deflationary spiral, forecasts say 0% inflation permanently reduces employment and the GDP by 1 to 3%. He's promising to hurt the economy. But to put Trump's full spectrum of promises into focus, at a time of high income inequality, with a currently record high stock market, with rampant financial speculation through meme stocks and other vehicles, he wants to impose ridiculous tariffs, drop inflation to zero, and pursue an isolationist foreign policy. Anybody ever write a paper on the causes of the Great Depression? I mean, come on, we even have a drought. Trump believes he knows more than the experts, just like he did with COVID or foreign policy. My favorite line in this interview about the economy was when he said, quote, "It must be hard for you to spend 25 years talking about tariffs as being negative, and then have somebody explain to you that you're totally wrong." 16 Nobel Prize-winning economists and a host of nonpartisan organizations all agree that Trump's tariff plans will reignite inflation. You can trust them, or you can trust the guy who knows so little about inflation and deflation that he's promising to enact something that raises prices and creates inflation, while simultaneously promising to eliminate inflation and hurt the economy. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.